Hello and welcome to today's video. In today's video we're going to look at QuickBooks Online. Whoa, no we're not. In today's video we're actually going to talk about self-employed. And actually we're then going to look at what's the difference between QuickBooks Self-Employed and QuickBooks Online. We'll see about that.
Told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it starts. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too.
Hello, my name's Aaron Patrick, a chartered accountant, certified UK trainer, and also that QuickBooks chat. One of the most common bits of feedback that I get on the videos is normally around the fact that what you're looking at from your screen doesn't match to what I'm showing on my screen. And if this is the case, this is because we're either talking about QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Self-Employed, and you've got either of the differences. Now, to be frank, both pieces of software are great and they both have their places in the world. But when it comes to which one's right for you, you need to consider the following. And that's what this video is all about. So what we're going to do is we're going to look into what is each strengths for each of the pieces of software so we can make a decision as which one is going to be right for your business. Okay, first and foremost, on both sides here of the screen is both sets of software. On the left hand side I've got QuickBooks Self-Employed, and on the right hand side I've got QuickBooks Accountant. First of all, aesthetically they look both the same, with the key difference to knowing which one it is that you're going to be utilising or which one you're currently using. You need to keep an eye out on the left-hand navigation panel. The left-hand navigation panel on the QuickBooks Self-Employed only consists of 6 transactions. On the right-hand side for the normal QuickBooks, we can show much more. And that's your key differential of which one's which. Also in the top left-hand corner, it says QuickBooks Self-Employed up there for me, where in here for you guys, it will say QuickBooks. So that's how you know which one you've got and which one you're currently using. Now let's figure out which one's best for you. Now, we're going to take this in 2 different ways. The first way we're going to look at is we're going to consider it from knockout punches. Ones where it means that you have to be on one over the other. After that, we're going to consider what some of the better features in either of the solutions are, and then you can make an informed decision from there. So, knockout punch number 1. Why would I choose QuickBooks Self-Employed over QuickBooks Online? Well, QuickBooks Self-Employed, the one big feature that it has over its rival is very simple. And it's all regarding the taxes section over here. If you go to the taxes section within QuickBooks Self-Employed, it gives you the ability to complete in product your self-assessment tax return. So if you're doing your self-assessment tax return yourself, so you don't have an accountant and you're not looking to outsource it to anybody whatsoever, then having software to do it for you could be a massive advantage. Don't worry if you don't use software to do your self-assessment tax return. HMRC actually makes it really easy. And I have a video coming up very shortly to take the data out of QuickBooks and put it into HMRC's portal. So I'm going to have you covered in terms of if you want to do a tax return without using software. But if you want to use software to compile your self-assessment tax return, you have to use QuickBooks Self-Employed over QuickBooks Online. QuickBooks Online has no feature whatsoever in filing your tax return. Okay, so what knockout feature has QuickBooks Online got that QuickBooks Self-Employed doesn't have? Well, again, it looks straight into this taxes area on the right hand side. On QuickBooks Online, if I go to taxes, it's going to come up with the VAT section. In fact, QuickBooks Online has 3 versions of taxes you can file within product: your VAT, your CIS, and your PAYE. Now, for most small businesses, they don't need CIS and PAYE, especially if you're a sole trader. Very rarely is that going to come into play unless you're in the building industry. But when it comes to that VAT element, that can hit a lot of different businesses. And that's normally your knockout feature. If you are VAT registered in any capacity, then you must be using QuickBooks Online versus QuickBooks Self-Employed. QuickBooks Self-Employed literally has no way of filing a VAT return, whereas QuickBooks Online has that option to file the VAT return. So there we have it. There's 2 knockout punches that makes it indispensable between using one over the other. For Team QuickBooks Self-Employed, if you must, or if you're looking to use software to file your tax return each and every tax year, then you have to consider QuickBooks Self-Employed. But if you're VAT registered or close to that VAT threshold, then you have to use QuickBooks Online, because QuickBooks Self-Employed doesn't give you the option to file a VAT return. Okay, now we've looked at the 2 knockout punches, let's look at some subtle differences between the 2, which could be the difference between making it worthwhile going with QuickBooks Self-Employed versus QuickBooks Online, or vice versa. Now, the main similarities between the two is that both of them have the advantage of connecting bank accounts. So if I go to the banking section and the banking section on both of mine, so transactions on QuickBooks Self-Employed and banking in QuickBooks Online. Both of the most important aspects of QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Self-Employed is the ability to add your bank account to the software. Adding your bank account solves a lot of issues. It means the data can come into the software without you manually having to put the data in, which means you don't have any issues when it comes to errors or anything like that. Now, connecting your bank account is vital. It's the way that you can save the most amount of errors, and more importantly than that, the most amount of time. And having that ability to connect your bank is going to save you so much time, and it's the reason why we normally push people to use software over using, say, Excel or paper. Now, that sounds great. The idea of connecting your bank account up, bringing all that data in, is going to save you time, especially when you can consider that you can actually connect things like your PayPal account to it as well. Now, the one big thing to think about the bank account though is how many transactions you have flowing through it. If you typically only have a handful of transactions going through, both solutions are going to be perfect for you. But if you actually have quite a few transactions going through, then at this point you might want to consider QuickBooks Online versus QuickBooks Self-Employed. And let me show you why. The first reason is that QuickBooks Self-Employed isn't really designed to be sat there trailing with lots and lots and lots of different transactions. QuickBooks Self-Employed is designed to go through and be able to add a couple of transactions one at a time. And it's perfect for that. The information comes in, you then decide if it's business, personal, and then you can decide what type of business transaction it relates to. Whereas QuickBooks Online gives you the opportunity to make sure that you're dealing with data on a much more of a mass basis. So with QuickBooks Online, you get loads and loads and loads and loads of different ways in which you can deal with it. And I've done plenty of videos of how you can deal with the bank and how you can make sure the bank works for you. But in quickness, the best thing that you can do here is utilize things called rules. With rules, you can make it so every time a transaction hits the bank account, you can have QuickBooks automatically assign it for you, which can save so much time. You have the ability then of making sure that transactions, as soon as they hit the bank, are allocated to wherever they need to be allocated to. And that means you can automate things like PayPal fees and things like that, so that they're automatically assigned to the right place as soon as they hit the account. Also, when it comes to large amount of data, sometimes QuickBooks Self-Employed can get a little bit overwhelmed. And also, if you lose a connection with your bank, you can lose the information that's there. Whereas on QuickBooks Online, if you lose your connection, you're not to worry. It's still going to be in QuickBooks Online, you just need to then reconnect your bank account. And finally, the big one. We've had a massive change recently in the way that we connect bank accounts to QuickBooks. And the way that we connect bank accounts at the moment is all regulated by open banking. With open banking, what we're asking for is that every piece of software in the world connects to banks in a certain way. Whereas prior to open banking, banks were just being asked to be connected in various different ways to various pieces of software. Now, when a bank and a piece of software connects to one another, it's always channeled through the same way, so it's regulated. The problem with this regulation is that it took times for banks to be able to get up to scratch. And we've had this period where certain banks haven't been able to connect to QuickBooks and vice versa. And even PayPal's been affected by this. PayPal have really struggled to adopt to being open bank compliant, and hence why it's been delays and there's been errors in which information has been shared from one platform to the other. Now, overall, QuickBooks Online has a much stronger connection to bank accounts than QuickBooks Self-Employed does, because QuickBooks Online has a much vaster amount of data, and it also connects via business banks as well as personal accounts. So if you are heavily dependent on that connection, you may need to consider QuickBooks Online over QuickBooks Self-Employed, because A, the connection is going to be stronger and you're going to get more data through it, and also it's going to be more reliable. Plus, if QuickBooks was to ever update their data entry from one to the other, they always push it into QuickBooks Online first, because that's where most of the users are, and then it comes to QuickBooks Self-Employed later. So you probably should really think about if you have a lot of transactions going through QuickBooks, really consider about using QuickBooks Online versus QuickBooks Self-Employed, because you're going to have more data coming in that's going to be more reliable to you, means less errors. When it comes to similarities as well, both of them have the option of doing mileage tracking, so you get that in both solutions. You have the option to look at reports in both solutions, and both of them give you the option to raise invoices. But when it comes to reports though, that's where QuickBooks Online really does excel. Within QuickBooks Self-Employed, you have a few reports that you can use and utilize and you can look at. In QuickBooks Online though, you will have a whole raft of reports. If we're going to look at both report section independently, you will see that you get 5 reports within QuickBooks Self-Employed, and in QuickBooks Online, you get countless reports. The amount of reports in here is incredible, and it gives you the opportunity to be able to go through and find the right report for you. QuickBooks Online gives you the opportunity to create any type of report that you need, and that's going to help you when it comes to making sure that you're making the right business decisions, looking at things like gross profit margins, and then looking to grow your business. With QuickBooks Self-Employed, you still get reports, but they're very much simplified compared to what you can get in QuickBooks Online. Now for some things that QuickBooks Online can do, which QuickBooks Self-Employed simply can't. One of the new features that's come through on QuickBooks is this cash flow op. And the idea of cash flow is that it's going to make it so that your business can easily have the opportunity to predict what's going to happen in the next 90 days. And we found cash flow forecast to be a really valuable tool for our clients, because QuickBooks is going to start trying to think about what's going on next, trying to predict what that bank balance is going to be. So if I jump into Cash Flow Planner, I can jump into Cash Balance. And in Cash Flow and the balance, it's going to look at my bank and try and predict transactions for me. So it's going to put those in, and then it gives you the opportunity to play with that as well. So I've actually put a prediction of this balance here so that I can see how it goes. And that's the key at the moment, especially in times where we're in, where it's so unpredictable. We need to have a grasp of how our business is doing and how we can predict going forward. Having tools where you can play and you can add transactions in and take away transactions, you're going to be able to have much more confidence in how your business is doing and how it's going to do in the past. You're going to have more confidence in how your business is doing and how it's likely to do in the future as well. There are far more advanced features in QuickBooks Online as well, like the ability to do projects and items like that. But for most small businesses, that's not needed. One of the other big differences is the App Store. QuickBooks Online has www.apps.com, which has a whole raft of different apps that you can connect to QuickBooks. The idea of connecting apps to QuickBooks is to make your life easier and to make it so we can integrate information directly in. For example, you can integrate your EPOS solution directly into QuickBooks, or maybe you want to integrate your online presence, so maybe an eBay or Amazon account or whatever it's going to be. Either way, you get to directly connect those third-party apps to QuickBooks. So not just your bank data is coming in, information that's coming in from third parties as well, which gives you confidence again in that data coming in and saves you a bunch of time. So if I look at the QuickBooks app marketplace on the right hand side, you can see there's all these different ways in which you can connect, and they're all down into different categories. And all you really need to do is go through, find the category that works for you, and you'll find there'll be loads of different apps on the right hand side, which is going to help you achieve what you need to achieve. On the left hand side though, doesn't matter where I go, there isn't an app store for QuickBooks Self-Employed, so that's one of the features that you'll lose. Now, one of the things that QuickBooks Self-Employed is really good at though is its simplicity. So QuickBooks Self-Employed absolutely nails the way in which you just interact with the data, asking you really simple questions like, is this business or is this personal? And then when you ask that question, if it is business, you then just need to choose a category that relates to it. So from a simplistic point of view, QuickBooks Self-Employed wins hands down. But with QuickBooks Online, once you get your head around it, once you are capable and comfortable with using the software, you'll find that it's no time saving, it's just a case of learning new skills. And where's the best place to learn those new skills? Right here on this channel. We'll make sure that you get all the skills you need to make sure you're using QuickBooks Online in the right way. So the difference between QuickBooks Self-Employed and QuickBooks Online, one of the big benefits of both of those solutions is the mobile app. Both solutions have a strong mobile app, which means you can do majority of what we've just shown directly on your mobile phone, and you can do it as you're going along. Also, both of them now have the ability to do mileage tracking on the app and have the ability to take photos of the transactions you're doing and automatically include them into QuickBooks. Okay then, so one of the big things is going to be price. Now from a price point of view, yes, QuickBooks Online is more expensive than QuickBooks Self-Employed, but if you follow the guys over at Bofix and you talk to them, we can make sure that you get the same price no matter what platform you're on. We can do deals with you to make sure that you're not overpaying on one solution over the other. So it really is down to which solution works for your business, not price. When should you move? If you are looking at this video and considering to move from one platform to the other, because one platform is going to offer you more than the other, then it is a consideration you need to make. Now, if you've got an accountant, move whenever, because it's the accountant's job to match the two periods together and to make sure it's really comfortable for you to go. So if you have got an accountant, don't worry about it, just make that jump whenever is possible. Here at Boffix, we always move around people. We move people mid-year, no problem whatsoever. Actually, to be fair, it's one of the most common things we do with a client is moving them from one platform to another when we find a better solution for their particular business needs. If you are doing it by yourself though, then just consider the consequences. If you are going to move mid-tax year, then do think about the idea of just basically completing it in 2 different periods. Whatever you've done on QuickBooks Self-Employed to date or QuickBooks Online to date, treat that as one period, and then move over to the new period, and at the end of a tax year you just add the 2 figures together. That's by far the simplest way of doing it. And if you have any problems with that, then keep an eye on the channel, because we're going to be looking at videos in which we can talk about how to extract data from QuickBooks and put it into your tax return. So keep making sure you press that subscribe button, and then you'll be confident in the way that you're taking data out of QuickBooks and putting it into your tax return in the future. If you're not confident in moving or adding 2 periods together, then do change at a year end. So 31st of March is normally your typical time, and that'll be the best one. Either way, if you are looking to get QuickBooks, do talk to the guys at Boffix. We'll make sure you get the best deal out there in terms of making sure that you're not overpaying for the solution. Final consideration is training and support. Both options have inbuilt help assistance. Both options give you the ability to ask QuickBooks straight away, but when it comes to training and support, majority of the training online is all geared towards QuickBooks Online. The vast majority of the videos that I do, for example, will be on QuickBooks Online, because it's that area in that platform where we have the most amount of knowledge to be able to pass over and the most amount of information we can give for it. So your key takeaways for making a decision. If you need to use the software itself to file your tax return, then QuickBooks Self-Employed is your only solution. If you need the software to file a VAT return, QuickBooks Online is your only solution. If you are looking to use QuickBooks Online and you still need to file a tax return, keep an eye on the channel. We'll be making videos on how to extract the data from QuickBooks Online and put it into the tax return. But if you are looking to become VAT registered at any point, you will not be able to use QuickBooks Self-Employed at all to be able to be VAT registered. Why you should move to either? Well, at this moment in time, it's critical. Making Tax Digital is only a few years away, and when Making Tax Digital arrives, you will have to be using some form of software. So at that point, you need to be using either QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Self-Employed, or one of the others that are available. And then it comes down to preference. If you've got a business with lots and lots of data, please consider using QuickBooks Online, because that's going to be the most convenient way for you to deal with that data, and you'll have much more assurance that data is coming in correctly. If you need the mobile app, both of these solutions are good for you. But if you are looking for something that's simplistic, then simplicity-wise, QuickBooks Self-Employed wins. And that's that. Overall, if you are having any problems whatsoever, stick them in the comments below. Let me know what issues you're having with either solution, and we can make a video regarding that. If you do want to talk to someone though, head over to the Boffix website, www.boffix.com, or email them at hello@boffix.com, and they can start a conversation with you about which solution's best for you. Don't overpay for your solution, make sure you use them, and make sure then that we can go and make sure you're getting the best out of QuickBooks Online. And that's it. That's all I can tell you about QuickBooks Online versus QuickBooks Self-Employed. Again, it's down to you. It's down to your business and down to what you need. But either way, whatever solution you go with, you're definitely making the right solution in having a software that makes sure that you're saving time and making sure that you're compliant for Making Tax Digital. We just need to make sure that that software is completely correct for your particular business. And if you do see my videos and you see that one of them is better than the other, then do get in touch and we can look at migrating you as well. My name is Aaron. It's been a pleasure doing this video for you. Hopefully you found something interesting in, and if you have, make sure to like and subscribe, and also don't forget to comment below if there's any other questions you would like answering. Thank you again, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it starts. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter. I can be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter if you want. All the way that I feel you. cause I can get him out of my head. I don't care what we do, everything's feeling new. Even if we stay in bed, my heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah. You know I want him, nah, 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 nah. My heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah.